We are live with Caesar from Heroes of NFT. Caesar, thank you so much for your time. I'm super stoked to have you school me on the existing massive gaming ecosystem on Avalanche. Um, I'm a gamer and a total geek, and I've followed your work on Twitter for a while, and I'd love to learn more about your work at Heroes of NFT. So thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me actually. And before starting, I can also introduce myself. I am Caesar, and I am working as a marketing manager for Heroes of NFT for almost 1.5 year. And I have been in Avalanche ecosystem around, I suppose it's 2 years. So happy to be here. And again, thanks for having me. And actually, as you said, I am going to talk about Avalanche Gaming Ecosystem. And actually, I don't have any presentation, but I have a framework to discuss. I think that a chronological order would be beneficial to understand the general, let's say, landscape of gaming ecosystem on Avalanche. And actually, I will start from late 2021 and coming to the nowadays today era. So actually, first of all, there will be late 2021, then first half of 2022, and then second half of the last year, then 2023 until now. I think I can start with the late 2021 because I choose this date because I think that it is the period that gaming on Avalanche has started. Actually, the general gaming ecosystem in Web3 has started around this time. So it is also a similar time frame for Avalanche. At the launch of the gaming ecosystem on Avalanche, there were actually many games, but actually mostly idle games, which are, let's say, we can call them the first phase because they were easy to play the game, and also they were low quality in design. The game dynamics are, let's say, basic, and actually the gamers, i- we can think that the gamers are not actually gamers, but they are here to, let's say, like a mercenary capital. They were here to collect the tokens or etc kind of things, and they were not here for the play. And actually, during this time, as the market conditions were very good, Avalanche ecosystem has seen massive flows of funding to the gaming ecosystem from VCs, and there are lots of projects around the ecosystem. And however, as I said, as it is an idle game, they were mostly inspired by Axie Infinity, and most of them are like have similar game designs, and most of them are looking similar in terms of how to play the game, but because of that, all the games were very similar. But and also, as I said, the main trend of this era was the play to earn. The earning side of the game was very crucial at that time, and most of the people are not here to play the game but earn from the game. So I believe it was a very defining theme for that particular period. And also,
What
for
what was
example,
what were some of the early idle games on AVAX?
yeah, actually, I believe one of the best known is Krabada. Actually,
Right.
thanks for asking. Krabada actually was the main driver of Avalanche ecosystem at first because they were one of the first projects to launch, and also uh, I believe their tokenomics would help them to drive further attention and growth to the general game ecosystem. However, other than that, most of the projects that launched at that time are not here anymore. So actually, it is also an important point because most of them has lost attraction and lost value. Also, other than Krabada, there was also Heroes of NFT that I am working still, sorry, and also a DeFi Kingdoms that is migrated by and from Harmony Protocol. But other projects have lost their, let's say, attention, or let's say they just quit and leave the ecosystem. And when we talk the teams, we also need to talk about the team members. Actually, during the late 2021, we see that as there are many gaming projects, the team members, the founders are, let's say, lack in experiencing gaming ecosystem. Mostly are from crypto native and they know crypto very well, but they have the they don't have the experience to build a game that can attract, let's say, millions of people. So this lack of experience actually resulted in low quality games, which actually I need to also point out that it is not a, let's say, exception for Avalanche, but it is also let's say a generalization for whole gaming ecosystem. And also, what I can always say from the Avalanche side, actually at this time there was no, let's say, a clear vision for what kind of a place gaming have in Avalanche ecosystem. So we can summarize it like there is no general vision by Avalabs. There are lack of quality games in the ecosystem. The team members are, let's say, lack in terms of experience in gaming ecosystem, and there was a, let's say, huge amount of funding to the ecosystem. And I remember that there were many projects every day launching on ecosystem, focusing on, let's say, play to earn team, and they raised tons of money, but they didn't deliver what they promised. So
Can you
actually,
give me some examples? Like your analysis is great. I'm just like
mhm.
I'm trying to um, find a point on the map.
Actually, I I don't want to give specific names because it
Sure.
can be understood wrongly. But there are a couple of projects that I remember raised $2 million, $3 million. But at that time, they left the project because, for example, they lost their money from Luna Terra crash. They lost their money from FTX, or they just, let's say, decided to not to continue to the project because of other reasons. There are too many projects at this time that exited with failure that resulted in the, let's say, uh, disconnection between players, gamers, or let's say investors, and the gaming ecosystem itself. And because I believe at this point there is still distrust to gaming projects because of what happened at late 2021. And actually continuing with the early 2002 and first half of 2022, as I said, during this period, gaming projects have faced criticism from the community itself, from the Avalanche community and general gaming community, because the theme of play to earn was heavily criticized, as people are not having fun from the game, and when the cryptocurrencies crashed, they are not also earning any money. So it was a lost game. So everyone lost the game. And actually, as I said, soft rock pools have increased during this period because the founders of the project decided that there is no future in GameFi, there is no future in Web3 gaming ecosystem. So they just left with the money that they have raised from the community itself. So I believe this was the worst period in gaming in Avalanche ecosystem. But of course, it is not about Avalanche, but it is about the general ecosystem and its implications to the gaming ecosystem. And also, as I said, the still lack of vision from L during this time on gaming ecosystem continued. And because of that, let's say, there was no new launches of game on Avalanche because there is no excitement around the ecosystem. We have a couple of people who have believed in the ecosystem with maybe how can I say, they believed in the ecosystem, they believed in that gaming can make a huge difference for Avalanche, but it was just a couple of people. And because of that, there was no excitement here. And also during this time, I think DeFi was a very important point for Labs team, and because of that, they aim to focus on this area. And with the Avalanche Rush, actually, they have increased their visibility in DeFi. But on that side, gaming was, let's say, a bit in the shadows. And as I said, there were no new games during early 2022, and the existing ones just left to the ecosystem. So actually, until now, it was kind of a, let's say, a bad situation for Avalanche in gaming ecosystem, because there was no innovation, there was no excitement, and there was no new flow of gamers to the ecosystem. And actually, DeFi was the backbone of Avalanche during that time, that holds the whole body. So gaming was kind of in its infancy. But thinking about the second half of the last year, actually, new projects have become existed in the ecosystem. For example, Battle for Geosnon, Sharapnet, or let's say MetaOps. Actually, one of the most important things about this time was that the projects were built by gamers itself, not crypto natives. So actually, I believe that was a huge difference, because when I see that projects have only crypto native teams, it is kind of a problem. But if they have the gaming experience, they can complement it with crypto native experience and make a great project. For example, at Heroes of NFT, we also have a team of gaming background and crypto background, so we are also comprehending it, and which makes us, I believe, a good project in the ecosystem. And also continuing with what I am discussing, by the way, I am just checking my notes. Actually, as I said, AAA studios are becoming more heavily involved in the ecosystem, and which was actually supported by Avalabs itself. And they were heavily pushing the institutional gaming projects to come Avalanche and build their projects here. And the subnets narrative actually kind of started here. And we did not know too much about how subnets can make a huge difference for gaming projects, but we have a, let's say, a vision that at this point that subnets can be helpful for gaming projects, and community were, let's say, getting that. And also, I believe that during that time the team has shifted dramatically. From We have shifted from play to earn to fun to play, and games were built according to that. And actually, it is connected with increasing number of team founders who are from coming from gaming backgrounds. It is also has its reasons for that. And
Well, yeah,
also,
we see AAA gaming studios,
yeah,
Gunzilla.
yeah, actually, it is very crucial, because there are many gaming guilds, gaming DAOs, or let's say gaming communities coming to the Avalanche. And it is because there is a great interest in Avalanche by institutional AAA gaming studios. So actually, it is kind of a result of that. And also, actually, as I said, the team has shifted to fun to play. The tokenomics model has started to change, because, as I said before, the tokenomics were also inspired by Axie Infinity dual tokenomics model, and it was inflationary. And actually, it was good in the short term, because it was very beneficial for the first comer, and first comer advantage was very highlighted during that era, late 2021 and early 2022. But in the second half of the 2022, we saw new tokenomics, in which maybe only one token, or let's say an increasing importance of NFTs as a game item, as a game asset. So actually, we see that there is a difference, and there is a evolving process around that. And also, what I can say is that during this period, Avalanche has started to develop its vision, as I said, for a gaming ecosystem and its place on Avalanche ecosystem. And we saw that with subnets, actually, subnet implementation, as we have currently seen, for example, Gonzilla Games, MetaOps, or let's say Sharapnet, or as Heroes of NFT. These projects are building their subnets on Avalanche ecosystem, because subnets can be very helpful for game experience, and also it decreases the cost of for both gamers and, let's say, for projects itself. And because of that, subnets have become the key component of the vision of Avalanche for gaming ecosystem. And actually, thinking about this period, Actually, I believe that there was kind of a still distrust from the community, but from the institutional side, they saw that subnets and Avalanche can be a, let's say, a good actor in the gaming ecosystem, and because of that, the interest has started kind of a in an uptrend, and it was very good for Avalanche because thinking that period and comparing to competitors, for example, Polygon, BNB chain, Avalanche made huge improvements on the infrastructure that it is building for gaming ecosystem. And actually, during at this point, we are seeing the results with TCM partnership, with let's say Godzilla partnership, etc. And actually, coming to the early 2023, as I said, we have the vision right now. We have the subnet vision for gaming ecosystem on Avalanche, which is very crucial because, for example, as a builder, as a member of a team who builds on a game and Avalanche, I need to see what is the vision of the this layer one protocol because I am going to be a long-term project and I need to see what they are thinking uh, about gaming. And at this point, what I see is that Avalanche, with for example, I believe that the inclusions of Coop from Avalab's team is also a very crucial moment for Avalanche Gaming because he has also increased the visibility of Avalanche in gaming content creators ecosystem. And actually, I believe that content creators
Sorry,
are one of
just for
the
people who don't know, who is that?
Coop is one of the uh, Avalab's team member. He is interested and he is focusing on gaming side of the Avalanche and Avalab's team. And I suppose he has participated team around late 2022. And after his participation to the team, and the Avalanche team has made a great effort to, let's say, recruit or support gaming content creators on the social media, and which made them to increase their attention to the Avalanche. And I believe that this will have its consequences later because when you have the attention of creators who inspire thousands of people, they are going to come to Avalanche. That is
Great.
very crucial because we have many people from gaming ecosystem, for example, Waypoint Gaming, Ready Player DAO, and other gaming guilds, etc., that are interested in Avalanche Gaming because of the connection that Avalab's team have founded with them. It is very crucial. And also, as far as I see, uh, even though there are very good things happening on right now, it is still safe to say that we are lacking numbers of gamers. There is, let's say, not too many players on the ecosystem who is ready to play the games, and actually, it is also a problem that most of the games are not ready to be playable. They are not playable right now. Mostly, they are in their beta versions. So actually, uh, we need to have a bit time to make Avalanche a hub for gaming ecosystem, but it is clear that there is a handful of games that are building on Avalanche, which are, let's say, going to make a huge impact on Avalanche and also in the general gaming ecosystem.
Yeah, so
And
let's dive in there. Can you? I'm going to take the
mhm.
counter argument to that, just as a devil's advocate. Why do you think a game needs NFTs if those NFTs never leave the game?
Yeah, actually, I think that's a very important question. And I think that one of the important things that NFTs have for games is the ownership. For example, I have played Counter Strike, I have played FIFA, and what I saw that when I put my effort for a year, for a 2 years period, and for example when I am going to leave the game itself, I am just leaving and nothing less to my efforts. And if we have the NFTs which resulted in the ownership of game assets, I can use them for my own purpose. For example, I can sell them, or just I can uh, put them and weight them with them. But uh, NFTs are creating an option, and they are empowering the gamers itself, and also they are creating a, let's say, an economy within the game. And I think because of that, they are going to be very crucial. And because of that, I think many Web2 players are going to realize that ownership in the game itself is a crucial thing, and it's a necessity. And in the later periods of, I believe, 2023 or 2024, with more regulation coming to the ecosystem, we saw that NFTs are going to be the backbones of gaming ecosystem. But
So
I
let's
am not
let
saying it for tokens. It is debatable, but for NFTs, I am very bullish.
okay. So maybe were you familiar with the Castle Crush
Yeah,
game? Can
yeah.
you can you um, can you talk to me about why or why you know your opinion of that launch? And they had a massive iOS audience,
Mhm.
right? A couple million users, and they did an NFT launch, but then the NFT it sort of evaporated. Maybe you can
Yeah.
go into what you think happened there.
I believe that one of the main reasons with that is that actually, at this point, NFTs are seen kind of a manipulative and speculative assets that are for crypto nerds, and because of that, I think there is a kind of a adaptation problem. And what I have seen with NFTs is that, for example, Reddit also launched their NFTs, but they rebranded them as digital collectibles, and actually it was
And
kind
everything
of a
just went
thing
down
that,
recently, right? Like they didn't the
yeah,
Reddit
actually, but
NFTs just explode and like the server went down basically.
yeah, but I believe it is because Polygon networks problems, not about
Yeah,
Reddit itself, but it was due to Polygon itself, not fooling anyone, but I suppose it was the reason. But back to the topic, I think that one of the main things with NFTs is that I don't, for example, in the future, we saw that we are not going to talk about NFTs, but we are going to talk about NFT ownership itself. For example, when I playing the game, I am not going to realize that I am buying an NFT. I am buying, for example, a digital collectible, but I am just buying an item from the game itself, and the technology behind it. I am not going to interact with them. So actually, when we reach that point, we are going to see the mass adoption, and maybe people are not going to even realize that they are using NFTs, they are having NFTs,
right,
but
right,
they will use it.
right. Understood.
Mhm.
And are there particular games, a style of games that you think um, won't work for for the economics? Like, for instance, I don't know. Like, let's say, I think an an game is much more sellable. Like, if because you put a ton of work in it than
Yeah.
something like a perhaps like a fighter game.
Yeah, for example, when I think NFTs, they are most suited to RPG games, FPS games, and trading card games. I think these three areas have the upper hand in, let's say, in leading the adoption of NFTs, because for example, at Heroes of NFT, we are building a collectible card game, trading card game project, and the NFT cards are NFTs, as I said, and you are building your deck with NFTs, so it is pretty easy to adapt NFTs to the game itself. But on the other hand, FPS and RPGs are games that people are buying too much in-game assets. So when you adapt the NFT technology in these games, I believe it will be very easy for them to adapt, because they're already selling in black market or buying in black market. But when you adapt NFTs, it will be much more easier, and it will be much more transparent for them, and they will lead the adoption, I guess.
Got it. Thank you.
And actually, considering the game projects on Avalanche, for example, FPS are currently MetaOps and Sharapnel are heavily supported by Avalanche, and I think it is also the same reason, because NFTs can be, let's say, very suitable for FPS projects, and because of that, I think these projects are getting enough attention.
Um, so yeah, the ownership thesis works. I get that. How do you, as a gamer, value the assets?
Actually, it is the simple free market thesis, but when you see the value that you can use it in the game, you can have an upper hand against your opponent in the game. You can value higher, but can you make it more? Can you make the question more clear? Because I think I couldn't understand very
Sure.
clearly.
Well, like speaking specifically about Castle Crush, right? Their NFTs
Mhm.
sold for a very high price, and
Yeah.
what you alluded to, which is that it was sort of a bubble. Um, how can like a gamer who's like interested in a particular game itself
Mhm.
value the NFT that they're buying?
Yeah, in my perspective, for example, when I play the game, one of the most important things that I value a game asset is how can I use it in the game, what advantages provide it provides to me, and how rare it is. And these are the three things that I believe provide a value or price to the item itself. For example, I think because of that, the rarity system of NFTs is also a good match for game assets itself. But other than that, I see, let's say, market manipulation, speculation is also an important part during these early times of NFTs, because people are not just, for example, considering in-game assets, they are only used in in the game itself. But when you open them to the free market, for example, the flippers are coming and they are changing the prices, they are dumping or they are pumping. So at this point, I believe the utility within the game plus manipulation and speculation are determining the price. But in the future, when the adaptation becomes more clear and when we are not realizing that we are using NFTs as in-game assets, the price of the items, NFT items, will be decided by this three factor: rarity, which advantages it provides, and how can I use it.
Understood. Thank you for that. Would you like to go over? Would you like to talk about Loco, the local gaming company in Southeast Asia?
Yeah, actually, I can also provide some thoughts on that, because I think that one of the main things with Lodo is that Avalanche provides a clear aim that they are aiming a Southeastern Asian ecosystem, because Vietnam, India, and Thailand has one of the biggest gaming ecosystems communities on gaming ecosystem. And with the partnership with Lodo, I think that as far as I remember, they are one of the biggest community in India, which I believe make Avalanche a, how can I say, a great competitor as
Yeah.
a infrastructure for Web3 game ecosystem.
Yeah.
And actually, we also see the results. Actually, it is a kind of a network effects. For example, when you partner with Lodo, you are also partnering with Gunzilla Games, you are partnering with TSM. And I believe that Avalanche is doing very good moves on that. I remember that I wrote an article at the end of 2002 and stated that Avalanche needs to make some moves on gaming ecosystem, and actually they are doing pretty well in that area. And Lodo partnership is very crucial because it will open the gates of Indian community. I remember that they
Yeah,
have.
Loco raised the largest Series A round in Indian and Southeast Asian gaming history.
Yeah, yeah. Because of that, I guess they are going to be very helpful in the increasing number of gamers coming to the Avalanche, which will result in more gamers because of the network effect.
And what does that network effect create?
Hmm. I think we just lost Nathan. Let me read it.
Sorry, my audio went out.
Yeah, okay, great. No worries. Uh,
I was just saying, how does the demand the demand for games, how does that accrue
Yeah.
to Avalanche in general?
Actually, I don't think it is different from other gaming ecosystem or other games because, for example, as a gamer, if I am going to play the game, I look two things: the game itself and what my friend says about it. So if you have more people playing the game, if you have a good game, you are going to reach further audience because you have a good game and people love to play the game. It is very basic, and uh, if you have a greater audience and who loves Avalanche games, you will have a good result. And actually, it is, for example, considering Polygon, for example, they have a huge base in Indian ecosystem, and because of that, they are doing very pretty good job in adoption of NFTs and gaming. So I think it is very similar. What can Avalanche do? We are as Avalanche, we are growing on Southern Eastern Asian communities, Vietnam, India, Japan, South Korea, Far East Asia, and because of that, I think within the couple of years, we will see that more gamers are going to be on Avalanche building and playing games.
Well, the what I was sort of alluding to was that if there's more subnets being developed, that means
Mhm.
that there are more validators of those subnets who have to buy the minimum 2000 AVAX threshold. So as the demand for gaming increases on Avalanche, right, more gaming
Yeah.
subnets will occur, which means a larger demand um, on the minimum threshold for AVAX. So it'll push AVAX up.
Yeah, to be honest, if you're an AVAX solar, you need to push AVAX to make more partnerships with gaming projects, with gaming communities, because as you said, more gaming subnets means more AVAX staked, and also it also means that people are going to buy AVAX and let's say stake AVAX, use AVAX in the game itself. So it is going to create a huge demand, which will boost the AVAX price. And I think that uh, with the increasing number of gamers and with the increasing, as a result, with the increasing number of daily active address on Avalanche, the AVAX price can go. I don't know, but it will multiply for sure.
Do you want to take? Let's take some questions from the Twitter audience. If anyone has any questions, put up a hand and we'll invite you up to get a question. Also, if there are any folks on YouTube, um, happy to take a look.
Mhm.
Um, Otherwise, why don't you continue along the outline you have? Happy to hear more.
Uh, yeah,
Maybe you
actually,
can talk about the future,
uh-huh.
what you think is going to
Mhm.
happen for the for the next coming months. The thing that I'm most excited about is Gunzilla games. I'm not
Mhm.
even a big PS5 gamer, but just knowing that that's attached to Avalanche will, you know, I'll probably go out and buy a PS5 simply just to see what that looks like.
Yeah, actually, I am thinking that in the near future, the competition with other chains is going to be the key theme for Avalanche Gaming Ecosystem because until now we are just doing our business within Avalanche ecosystem, but right now I think we are going to compete with, for example, Polygon, BNB chain, Ethereum, and Immutable. They are also having great projects, and also they have also great potential in gaming ecosystem and also NFTs. I
But
think
do you think
NFTs
that
and
they'll really succeed if what you see happened at Reddit like kind of happens over in
Mhm.
the gaming ecosystem?
Actually, I think that a major gaming company or game itself needs to adopt one of these platforms to make NFTs and gaming itself adapted by the Web3 ecosystem in general. For example, if you have FIFA on Avalanche, I don't think there is an upper limit for you in gaming itself. Because of that, I think these projects, especially Polygon, Immutable, and Avalanche, are going to fight hard for big gaming projects to, let's say, recruit them to the Avalanche ecosystem or Polygon ecosystem, or let's say Immutable. And I
But if they
believe in,
fail, if their network fails,
yeah, yeah, actually, that's also a big issue. And I think because of subnets, Avalanche has an upper hand in that area. And because of that, I am in Avalanche. And because of that, I am also a part of a team that builds a subnet on Avalanche. So,
right on. Why don't you go into your subnet a bit? Why don't you talk to us about gaming? What if you can share metrics, user metrics, and how your development's going?
yeah, actually, let me briefly introduce then Heroes of NFT. We are, as I said, a collectible card game project on Avalanche. And actually, we are also the projects, one of the projects that has not launched yet. We have our beta version, and people are able to play the beta version with the bots itself. But around late May, early June, we are going to release our game on C chain at first, because we need to first attract users from the general Avalanche ecosystem and need to have a, let's say, a user base before migrating to a subnet itself, which also LLabs suggest projects that they need to first launch on C chain and then migrate to subnet, because of the reason that I have mentioned. But from the user perspective, we have I sold 16K NFTs, and also uh, we have one of the most hodled token in the ecosystem. So it is clear that we have the trust of the community. However, of course, during the beer market, everyone lost a share of their audience, or let's say community, and also we are also affected by that. But I believe that when the game itself is ready, we are going to be, let's say, one of the projects that has a huge impact in the growing ecosystem of Avalanche Gaming itself. And actually, for example, we are uh, doing an NFT migration right now, that people are migrating their old version of NFTs to newer ones, and the results are pretty good right now. And I believe we will be able to migrate most of the NFTs at the end of the month. So that's a huge achievement for us. And I can
Awesome.
say that it shows that there is a growing interest by the gaming community for the Avalanche gaming projects, and because of that, all the projects are, let's say, benefiting from this trend. And for the future, actually, I can also say that we need to, as Avalanche ecosystem, we need to have a killer app like Trader Joe, like X Infinity, or let's say uh, I couldn't find anyone, but these projects were very successful to, let's say, attract users from different ecosystem to their native ecosystem. So a gaming project that can, let's say, attract people from BNB chain, Ethereum, or let's say Polygon, is going to be the one that helped the most to the growing Avalanche gaming ecosystem. And I believe we have a couple of projects that can do that, as I mentioned. For example, Godzilla can do that, or let's say Sharapnel, Metopes, and I hope Heroes of NFT is going to be one of them. Also, we have Rainy, Battle for Geostone, Hatchy Pocket. So I think we have lots of projects. The only thing that we need to have in the near future is that the games need to be ready to be played by thousands of people because of the high network effects, and they need to be fun. It's pretty simple, but it is kind of hard to explain it to the crypto native people, because they are just here to invest and get their money. So it is kind of a still a issue that gaming ecosystem needs to achieve.
Wonderful. Great. Are there final pieces that you'd like people to know, or what you'd like to promote in the next like month or so?
Actually, I am thinking that uh, I don't have any specific things to promote, but what I can say is that I believe, as a a community member of Avalanche, people need to be focusing on how NFTs and gaming can cooperate to build the next big blockchain, let's say next big layer one protocol. Because we have Ethereum that is very solid. But other than that, as a alternative layer one project, how are you going to make a difference? It is innovation. The answer, I believe, the innovation in gaming and NFT ecosystems, because it is the one that will attract users,
You want
not
something
capital but
outside of
users.
Avalanche?
Sorry.
You want something outside of Avalanche? I don't understand.
I mean that if you want to be the leading layer one protocol on the general ecosystem, you need to have innovation in gaming ecosystem and
Yeah.
NFT ecosystems,
Yeah.
because these are the ones that will attract user, not DeFi. DeFi will bring you the capital, but gaming and NFTs will bring you the people. So the Avalanche has the capital, but it needs to have the users. So combination of both will make Avalanche the superior one. And
Great.
because of that, I think people need to focus on that area.
All right. All right, Caesar. Thank you so much for your time. Big shout out to Heroes of NFT.
Thanks so much.
And we'll put the link in the description. And one more question: are there any other questions from Twitter? Happy to ask. Don't think so. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Have a good day, and I will be in the next session.
Great. Thanks.